But I know what Jared Goff is. The NFL knows what Jared Goff is. Accept it, Detroit fans. Accept it, Lions fans. Jared Goff is not your savior.
The Bengals got Joe Burrow, and then they sucked. They sucked, and then they went to the Super Bowl. Why can't the Lions do that?
Spencer,
Yes.
Jared Goff hops on a podcast, discusses what the culture's like in Detroit. Feeling good. He's basically saying all the right things, if
Yes.
I'm honest. He's
Saying
saying
what
what
he
he's supposed
needs
to
to
be
say.
saying. Yeah, 100%. It's a big year for him. This is his future in the NFL. It really comes down to this year.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it reminds me a lot of Alex Smith. When he first got to Kansas City and they were starting to put together a decent roster, it was like, well, what are we going to accomplish with this guy?
Yeah.
He at least won you a division game. He at least got you to the playoffs. Like, he won you things. You accomplished things with Alex Smith. I think that can be the case with Jared Goff if they build a quality team around him,
Which they are.
which they definitely are. They're adding talent, but he says it's time to deliver a winner in Detroit. And my question to you, and I'd love for everybody in the chat to comment as well,
Yeah.
what is your definition of winning, and what do you need to see out of Jared Goff where you're like, yeah, I can watch this for the next 2-3 years?
Yeah, winning is obviously it can't happen in 1 year, but it's sustained success. It is getting there, being a name that's like, okay, pencil them in. They're winning 10 to 12 games. They're going to be in the playoffs. This year, I don't think it's going to go down that way. I have them at around 7 wins this year, although I know it is a weak schedule. We've gotten a lot better on the offensive side of the ball, let alone we know what the defense is switching up. They're going to be attack. We have our boy Aiden down there. He's going to be a big name. He's going to be making some big plays. So we'll see how that defense looks. But what they can do to make me love Jared Goff, to make me accept Jared Goff, is honestly nothing. I don't think there's anything they can do aside from Jared Goff going out there and putting up an MVP season. Then I'd be like, all right, maybe I'm wrong. But I know what Jared Goff is. The NFL knows what Jared Goff is. Sean McVay knew what Jared Goff was. Brad Holmes knows what Jared Goff is. That's why he never says anything about the future. He says the coach talk stuff, the GM talk stuff. This is our guy. He's our guy right now. We got him in there. We'll roll him with Jared Goff. What are you supposed to say about your starting quarterback? That's all you can say. So aside from Jared Goff going out there and putting up 5,000 yards and 35 touchdowns, I don't think there's much he can do to sway me to his side.
But do we need the fan? Why do we need to be swayed by Jared Goff? Why can't we just go into the season in agreement? If he plays well, we're happy.
Yes, if he plays well, we're
If
happy.
he doesn't play well, that means the team isn't going to play well. And that means they're not going to win football games,
And we
which
can
means
draft
you're going
a
to be
quarterback.
drafting a quarterback next year.
Yes.
So I really have no issue with Jared Goff. I think he's not what he used to be. I mean, let's be honest. After 3 seasons, he was one of the elite up-and-coming quarterbacks.
Yes.
And then he just completely fell off. There's a reason you traded for him.
Yes.
And you got 2 first-round picks to take him.
Yes.
There is a
Nobody
reason
wanted
for
that
that.
salary.
Nobody wanted it. It was a bad contract.
Yes.
And let's just call it what it is. This guy can easily, I believe this year, lead a 3-13-1 football team again, or lead an 8, 9, 10-win team.
Yes.
Because if Dan Campbell is what you want him to be, Detroit, if you want him to be one of the up-and-coming good head coaches, he's not going to sit there at the end of the season with 7 wins in 2 years.
No, you can't let that happen.
That's just not a thing. That doesn't happen in the NFL. Bill Belichick doesn't start 3-13, 4-13, and then suddenly they become perennial Super Bowl contenders. Well, Spencer,
Yes.
the Bengals got Joe Burrow, and then they sucked. They sucked, and then they went to the Super Bowl. Why can't the Lions do that?
Because we don't have Joe Burrow.
You don't have Joe Burrow, and you have to remember I talked about this yesterday. I don't know if you caught it. How fortunate you have to be sometimes in the NFL and in all sports, right?
Sure. There's a little bit of luck.
The Lions
involved.
were fortunate to get Penei Sewell. He goes top 2 any other year.
100%.
The Lions were fortunate to get Aiden Hutchinson this year. Only one team believed Trayvon Walker was better, and that was the team that was picking in front of him.
Yes.
So you have to be fortunate sometimes, and the Lions, I think, have been fortunate under Brad Holmes because I believe in life you make your own luck. And then you look at the Bengals. Joe Burrow is drafted. Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow looked promising in those 7-8 games he played his rookie year.
100%.
They looked really good.
Their offensive
He
line is still
got
garbage,
injured,
but-
and they lost every game after.
Yes.
They had a top 5 pick. They got Jamar Chase. And everybody expected 7-8 wins that year. They won 10.
They made the Super Bowl.
And they made the Super Bowl. I mean, that is an anomaly. Joe Burrow was the first quarterback in NFL history drafted #1 overall to reach the Super Bowl in his second year.
That is wild
So,
to me. And it is what it is. What we have with Goff, like I said, you know what he is. You know he's not the guy that's going to bring you over the hump. And so from looking at both perspectives, if he plays poorly, you're in line to draft a young quarterback. You're in line to get one of these guys. If he plays well, you can trade him. You can do what the Rams did. You can trade Jared Goff for a starter to push you over that edge because that's what he is. He's a bridge guy. Accept it, Detroit fans. Accept it, Lions fans. Jared Goff is not your savior, Kendrick voice. It's bad, but we have two avenues out of it. We have the classic Patrick Mahomes, Alex Smith avenue, where you draft a guy, a young guy, he plays under him, you hope it works out, or we have the Browns, which isn't working out too well because Deshaun Watson's going to be suspended for 12 years, or the Rams option where you can trade that guy and you can bring in somebody. You can bring in a guy that knows how to win, that is better than what you have, and it pushes you to the Super Bowl when you're ready.
I like Funky's comment in the chat. He said that Alex Smith, you could look at him and Goff more as a dock quarterback, not just a bridge. A guy that you can build a contending roster around, and they can do okay things with it, and then you pull the trigger.
So is that what Alex Smith is then? He's not a bridge. He's a
Alex Smith at the time was a
winning
bridge
12
dock.
games.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's to me it's the same thing because they're limited, right?
Yes.
They're not a quarterback that has superstar franchise quarterback ceiling, and that's really all you're looking for. If you look at the NFL and how it's played right now, the reality is a quarterback can win you a lot of games. Matthew Stafford just won a Super Bowl in LA. I promise
win
you.
another one.
I promise you, there are maybe 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm being generous on that number. That could make some of the throws he made in big-time moments last year.
Oh, for
Tom
sure.
Brady, I know for sure, would do it. Aaron Rodgers would not do it because he's never done it.
He has the ability to do it.
He has the ability, but he will never do it in the playoffs. He's never done it, and that's the frustrating thing.
Did it
with
once.
Yeah, early on,
Yeah.
no pressure, right? Nobody
Yeah.
thought they were, 6th seed at the time, wild card team, so.
Donald Driver, Greg Jennings.
Yeah,
loaded
great
team.
defense, but
Yeah.
still, not to discredit it. It's just there's difference between leading and winning as a unit.
Yes.
And there's levels to this. You're going to need a franchise quarterback, like you said, down the road. I think Jared Goff is a good option for the Detroit Lions for now. Mm-hmm. And if he sucks, I hate to be repetitive.
Yeah.
If Jared Goff sucks, you pick in the top 5 this year.
Oh, no doubt.
If David Blau plays half the season, you will lose every game.
But he's looking great at practice.
And I will be one of those people that if Jared Goff goes down early or he just plays like butt cheeks and he's missing all the throws and the receivers are open and the plays are there to be made and he's not making them, then I can sit there and say, I'm not going to look at the coaching staff and hold them completely accountable. They are slightly accountable, but they're not overwhelmingly, I'm ready to get rid of them after 2 years. I'm willing to draft a rookie quarterback and see how they do with him. And if there's significant improvement, all hypothetical right now, well, then you keep him around for year 4. But I don't see that happening. Yeah. I see Jared Goff winning 7, 8, 9 games possibly this season. Yes. I see the Lions being one of the biggest pain in the ass teams to play against.
For sure.
So,
and that's what I've said. I think obviously Jared Goff is going to do better with the new weapons they put around him, with the Ben Johnson getting a full year, a full training camp, all of that ready to go, having the offense loaded up. He's going to perform better. But much like Jimmy Garoppolo, much like those other people, Jared Goff isn't a quarterback you win because of. You can win with Jared Goff, but you're never going to win because of Jared Goff. And in the NFL, especially in the playoffs, you need a quarterback you will win because of them. You win because Matthew Stafford goes out there and makes those throws. You win because Tom Brady goes out there and does that. You're not going to say, oh, we won that game because Jared Goff went out there and threw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
You might have 1 game, 2 games this year that he does.
He does.
And that's it.
But
only
not in the
one.
Playoffs.
Only one.
Not
only
at the
2.
highest stage.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's like what the Niners are dealing with
Jimmy
Garoppolo right now. It's they have that complete team. They have everything you need except for a quarterback.
Jimmy G has that limitation too.
Yeah.
Right? You give the Niners a better quarterback, maybe they don't choke in the 4th quarter.
Oh, 100%.
Because Matthew Stafford made the plays in the 4th quarter. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't, and that was the difference. And then you go to the Super Bowl, the same thing. Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp connection in the 4th quarter. Joe Burrow had Jamar Chase, but Aaron Donald mauled him.
Yes.
But beyond the point, they made the plays when they had to, and they did, and that's why they're Super Bowl champions. You go back to Jared Goff's Super Bowl run, He had a 55% completion percentage. He threw 1 touchdown in 3 games and 2 interceptions. That was the Rams' Super Bowl year.
Yes.
That's what he did coming off a 40-plus touchdown year.
Yes.
1 touchdown, 2 interceptions in 3 games.
And it was because their weapon on offense was gone. Todd Gurley got hurt, and Jared Goff fell apart. Jared Goff didn't know what to do if he wasn't handing the ball off to Todd Gurley or pulling it out of the belly, and you have all the linebackers sucked in already, and you can just dump it over their head to Bobby Trees or one of those guys out there. So I don't see it. I don't know why everyone is so obviously. I mean, I know why everyone is so enamored because they're Lions fans and they love anything with a pulse that has a Lions uniform. But this is not the guy. You're not that guy, pal, and it's proven. So, like I said, I think he's going to be better. I have them at 7 wins. I could see them getting 8. I think 10 is a little much, especially even though it's an easy schedule. It's still a tough division. Packers have one of the best defenses in the NFL.
100%.
They still have Aaron Rodgers, even if he's throwing the ball to me and Fish. They have the Vikings are still a great team. We're obviously a loaded offense with Justin Jefferson, with Dalvin Cook, with Alexander Mattison. Kirk Cousins, I believe, is a better quarterback than Jared Goff, so I'll give them the edge there. Slightly. It's a slight thing, but he's still a little bit better, and they have a good defense as well. The Bears, complete doggish. They're never going to be good this year. Justin Fields is going to die. I feel bad for Justin Fields. Maybe we can get him on a reclamation project, but we'll see.